Hello there. Welcome to 9 to 5 and Thriving. My name is Dr. Fidel Sakwe, multi-award-winning cybersecurity professional, best-selling author, career mentor, and Forbes published thought leader. Today, we are going to be talking about 6 tips to help ace your interview. I'm going to go right into it. The first one on my list is research about the company. I know this sounds like, oh, I've heard this before. But look, here's the thing. If you do not know about the company, you are putting yourself at a disadvantage. Knowing about the company, it's just beyond going to their website, putting that information and cramming it in your head. No, it's being able to understand what that means. One time, I did an interview with a particular company. Okay. Now, they did not ask me, oh, could you tell me what our core values are? Could you tell me what we do? No. Here was how they asked the question that showed whether I had researched the company or not. They asked, you must have researched about all, and you are applying for a role to head our cyber assurance function. Can you tell us briefly what type of technologies you think that a company like ours should be mindful of, and if this type of technology risk should be in our risk register? Well, you needed to know what they do and what they were into, the industry, and what threats to that industry to be able to adequately answer that question. Now, this particular company was a payments company, okay? So immediately I said that, oh, yes, sure. I think that PCI DSS will be important to you. I think that cybersecurity will be important to you. And then I also spoke about anti-money laundering initiatives and risk. But the only reason I could say that was because I had researched them, not just knew what they do, I knew the risk to that industry, and I knew exactly from a technology perspective what those risks meant for the company. So research the company. The second is know your CV. That almost feels like, oh, come on, but it's my CV. Of course, I know it. I cannot tell you how many times I have typed in interview and people write down stuff in their CV that they genuinely cannot defend. Many of us use different applications. Some of us now outsource writing of CVs to people who kind of write a CV that looks great for you, but then you end up not reading it, especially not reading the fine line. One time I was on a panel and we were having this interview for an IT auditor. And this guy comes and says he has done both IT audit. He also has cybersecurity knowledge. And I'm like, oh, wow, great. That's interesting. Can you tell me about the project where you did some cybersecurity work? And then he begins to bungle and says, actually, he didn't lead that project. It was a cybersecurity project, but he did the IT audit aspect of that project. And so on the CV, however, he said expert in cybersecurity. Now, anyone who's trying to look at the CV for an IT auditor, it's always a plus if you have cybersecurity. So on paper, it looked good, but he did not know his CV. Okay. The next is master virtual interviews. Friends, you know the times have changed. Not every interview is going to be in person. Some companies still insist that you do interviews in person, but now a lot of companies do virtual interviews. And as remote work continues to be popular, being comfortable with virtual platforms is very crucial. You must understand that they do not necessarily see all your body movement, probably your hand, your leg. They don't see a lot of that. Your facial expression has to be intentional. You have to make sure that your face communicates interest. You are not to show that you are engaged. A lot of things that happen in virtual interviews really come from what does your facial expression say. The next tip I would give is what I call the 10 seconds rule. Now, you're not going to see this anywhere. Okay. But I sat in 20 interviews and this was what I found out. I found out that most people on the interview panel have an impression of the candidate in the first 10 seconds. Now, within those first 10 seconds, you either have come across as, oh my gosh, she's friendly. Oh my gosh, she's friendly. Or, okay, it looks like we're going to have a hard day today. And it's one of two things happen from that moment. You either ride on that positive first impression you have in the first 10 seconds, or you really start walking against the waves from that point. So, how do you have a great first 10 seconds? Part of what we just said, make sure that you come up showing enthusiasm, showing that you're smiling, showing that you're happy to be there, warm greeting. Those things help in the very first 10 seconds to create your initial impression. The next tip is you have to prepare for behavioral questions. Most multinationals and most big companies these days use what is called the STAR methodology. Okay, you need to talk about the situation. When you're asked the question, give us a situation when this happened. You need to be able to talk about the task. You need to talk about the action you took and the results. Most interviews now are behavioral because companies are not just, focused on what you did. They are also concerned about how you go about what you did. This method helps you provide clear and concise answers that showcase your skill and experience. The next point is what I just talked about. Know your what, but you must not ignore the how. Knowing your what ensures that you know your technical stuff. That's really important. But companies are now beginning to also focus on how you go about executing it. How many tools did you step on in order to achieve that outcome? How many stakeholders were angry with you? Did you exhibit the company culture in going about that task? Those things are becoming more and more important for companies. And now I'm going to give you one bonus one. Show that you are a culture fit. Companies are now looking beyond your technical skills and they are looking for candidates who fit their culture. Be ready to discuss how your values align with the company and share examples of how you have thrived in similar environment. Hey, remember to stay positive and confident, okay? Show enthusiasm. Confidence is always a game changer. Maintain a positive attitude, make eye contact, and don't forget to smile. I believe that if you apply these, you will ace your next job interview. See you at the next episode of 9 to 5 and Thriving.